Stev0.
Yo.
Hey man, tonight we got the in-season tournament back in action. I think it's like 10 or 11 games. I think
Yeah,
it's like
something like that.
nine games tonight. Last night it was only 2 games in the association. We didn't get game 2, I guess, of the in-season tournament on Tuesday because of election day. So we're going to talk about tonight's in-season tournament and the 2 games from last night right after the intro.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's the word, NBA basketball fans? The odd couple is back in effect. Your boy, big bro, Stev0 speaks in the building. Hey, y'all already know if y'all want to hit us up at NBA Central Pod on all social media platforms. Follow our TikTok page, see what we got going on the different platforms, social media platforms. All right, last night, Stev0, there was only 2 games, 2 games in the association. The Milwaukee Bucks faced off against the Indiana Pacers in Indiana, and the Atlanta Hawks faced off against the Orlando Magic. Now, both of these games, I got to check out both of them kind of simultaneously while the Bulls were playing. Not the Bulls, the Bears were playing the Carolina Panthers. But we'll start with the Milwaukee and Indiana game. This is the second time this season that we've seen a player go off for 50-plus points and still lose as the Indiana Pacers outlast the Milwaukee Bucks 126 to 124. That's a good young Indiana team out there, man.
Yeah. And it's kind of like we kind of seen from the game before previously how they allowed Detroit to come back to the game after Giannis got kicked. I would say wrongly he kicked out the
Man,
game.
crazy. These
It was
referees is
well soft, and especially with his situation because it's literally like a glance. So, but yeah, it's we already knew that this team was gonna be one of those teams that no matter who they go up against, they're gonna give you a battle regardless of the fact. And I'm not surprised at all that they was able to take this win out. You know, you got Tyrese Halliburton have a hell of a game with 29 points, pretty soon, pretty good for 10 for 17. Also having a double double along with that. Then you got
it's Benedict
Ben Mathurin.
Mathurin.
That's what
That
I'm just gonna
man
say.
is Jesus, bro. He
Two
26 and
double doubles on the
11.
same team.
Yes, and then that puts Miles Turner. He doesn't really have to do as much, because Tyrese Halliburton definitely controls the flow. They don't have many turnovers. They only had 11 turnovers as a squad, but I think Milwaukee they had 14, but Giannis had 8 of them. So even though Giannis had 54 points on 19 for 25 from the field, like he was out there killing, 12 rebounds to go along with that, and 3 assists, 8 turnovers. I
It's gonna
mean,
kill you. It
yeah,
will kill you.
it just makes that 54 points all for naught because you end up losing by 1 point by turning the ball
Two.
over so much, giving those guys 2 points, giving those guys so many more opportunities. Let's
Mm-hmm.
see, because they had 5 more shot attempts, and they ended up making the 2 less shots.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the threes is probably the difference on the squad
Yeah.
because Indiana hit 23s and Milwaukee only hit
In 9.
9. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure out of those 8 turnovers, a couple of them turned into 3 pointers for the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, that was the thing. And we already know Tyrese is not scared to shoot that much at all. And we
Mhm.
already know, like this. Not only are they a young, scrappy team, they're confident, and they built that confidence last year. And to come here and get some additional help with the likes of Bruce Brown, alongside with Obi Toppin, even though they didn't have like crazy games, like even them there, like Bruce Brown almost got a double double, had 11 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, almost had a triple double
That's championship mentality right
for
there,
sure.
and that it's already a given that you get a player that has tasted that champagne. It can definitely change the makeup of a team. So yeah, man,
And
Milwaukee.
I gotta say this Andrew Nimhard, point guard. He doing his thing too. He had
And
10
then
points as well.
And there was no Dame Lillard last night either. Like you got campaign starting last night. I didn't even know he ended up in Milwaukee,
Me either.
but but that's a big difference as well. Even though Dame hasn't been playing up to his standards, trying to make up for him last night just proved to be a little bit too much. Now moving over to the Atlanta and Orlando game, they played in Mexico City. This was a really, really good game
Let's go.
between two really good young teams. Obviously, Atlanta's been here before. They've been to the playoffs. They know what they're doing. Quinn got them playing really, really well out there, and they get the 1 point win off of basically the game winning 3-pointer from Dejounte Murray off an
Mhm.
assist from Trae Young. Now Trae Young went off last night. I can't even hate on him. 41 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. He had a behind the back pat. Well, he didn't pass it behind the back, but he did the little behind the back before he threw the oop early in the game. That was a pretty cool highlight. But Dejounte Murray hit a nice three to put them up by one. And Orlando Magic had their chances last night,
Yeah.
but this was a case of basically just just not being able to execute down the stretch at the level that they're supposed to. And when you don't get anything from Joe Ingles, Cole Anthony, they combined on 2 for 13 shooting themselves. That
Mhm.
hurt these guys. But hey, I like what I'm seeing from this young Orlando team overall. They're definitely a deep team.
Yeah,
Deep
like
team.
at this point now, I'm looking at coaching when it comes to them because now the only thing I see problem is yes, they got little flaws in their game, but the main flaw to me is that like any other young team, they just don't know how to finish games, and that's been
Mm-hmm.
their main problem, and that's the main reason why they lost it last night. They had multiple opportunities. They caused the turnovers. They won the offensive battle on the boards. They won the board battle. Period. And I think they just came up short on some key things. And then us other common denominator is, yeah, Paolo was that dude over there, but he still ain't stepped into that star role that Trey Young is already is. And that's what happened. Your star showed up and did star things, and you won the game.
And then, honestly, if we're talking about youth, I mean, the 3-point differential is all right. It's not too
Yeah,
bad.
it wasn't different. Like the
But
stats was pretty similar. Yeah,
missing 10 free throws hurt and having
yeah,
almost 20 turnovers, that'll hurt you as well. You just can't do that against a veteran team like the Atlanta Hawks. But again, like I said, man, I like what I'm seeing from this young squad, man. So before we move on, man, it's just good. The NBA has been good so far this season. I ain't gonna even front. I've been
yeah.
enjoying what I've been seeing so far. And even though it's been a little bit confusing before we go into the current standings, and before we start talking about the in-season tournament, it's just been cool to see, man. So right now in the East, you got Atlanta at 5-3, Milwaukee at 5-3, and the Brooklyn Nets at 4-4 at the bottom. But at the top, you got the 76ers. I wasn't expecting them to start off 6-1. I'm not going front.
Shit,
They,
me either.
they lost their first game and they rattled off 6 straight wins to take over first place in the East. However, the Indiana Pacers got 6 wins too. They 6-3. Boston sitting at number 2 at 5-2. That's not surprising. Everybody expected Boston to be good, but Philly has overcome the cancer of James Harden and the getting rid of Ben Simmons and all the different changes that they've gone through, losing their coach, and they started off really really strong. Nick Nurse got them balling.
Yeah, it's like when you take some medicine that month immediately. You take hey, they fighting that virus and the virus is gone. So they free. Like that's another thing I think a lot of people are like they probably felt like they was under hostage of this whole situation with themselves. Like they probably felt like they've been under hostage with all these situations. So to come into a training camp in a season where they probably was like, all right, we'd have been through it all, we done done it all. It's about us now. Let's lock
Hmm.
in. Um, Tobias is also not behind nobody either. You starting to see a better Tobias out of there. So I think it was just like I said, you refuse some key people that's causing the main issues of the whole organization. Hey, the organization is never gonna be ran right, but as soon as you get them out, it's instant. It's almost like a code.
And Kelly Oubre Jr. was a godsend
Kelly
for them.
Oubre was definitely a sneaky good signing.
They picked that they tapped him on the shoulder in the line at Walmart, like, hey, you want to come play with us? He's like, sure. Nobody else want me, and he's been doing this thing. Now out west, you got the Denver Nuggets, of course, at 8-1. They just riding that championship high. Even with losing Jamal Murray, Reggie Jackson has filled in admirably. But the surprise out there for a lot of people, not necessarily me, because I kind of felt like they would have a decent bounce back, at least to start the season. The Dallas
Mhm.
Mavericks at 6-2. Then you got Minnesota at 5-2, the Warriors at 6-3, and then Oklahoma City at 5-3. They've been having an up and down season, but surprisingly, the Houston Rockets on a 4-game winning streak after starting off 0-3 are now 4-3. Phoenix, New Orleans, Sacramento, and LA Clippers round out the Western Conference. So tonight we have our second Friday of the in-season tournament. Last week you had the Pacers win, you had the Cavaliers lose in Group A, you had the Heat win, the Bucks win, the Knicks and Wizards lose in Group B, and then in Group C the Nets beat the Bulls, and then nobody else has played in Group C yet. And then in Group A in the West, the Blazers beat the Grizzlies. Nobody else has played in the West group yet till tonight. And then West Group B, the Nuggets beat the Mavericks. Nobody else has played. And then in West Group C, Warriors beat the Thunder last week, and nobody else has played. So tonight you're gonna have, because Tuesday you're supposed to have, it's supposed to be Tuesdays and Fridays for the in-season tournament. You didn't have any basketball on Tuesday, so you're not gonna see the third games until this upcoming Tuesday. But tonight we got a bunch of good games, man. Some teams that they're gonna have to get a win, like the doggone Memphis, and the Memphis game tonight is gonna be
Memphis for
interesting.
sure. Like
Let's
I
see.
don't like Memphis got to get like you got to win something. Like you got to get something under your feet. I don't know what's going on over there, but y'all need to get it right because Hey, y'all look terrible. But yeah, it's a lot of good games tonight. Like you got that Memphis and San Antonio game, which I'm looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to this Phoenix and Detroit game.
You
And
mean Minnesota, San Antonio? So we'll just
what I
start.
say?
You said Memphis and San Antonio. Well, it's
All
all
right.
good. We'll start at the top. You got the Hornets and Wizards. That's an in-season tournament game, but both of these teams are 2-5. Maybe this could jumpstart a winning streak for one of these squads. Maybe the Hornets can, to get closer to
Mhm.
500 with a win tonight. But they are on the road against the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma has been balling out. This has in-season tournament implications, so we'll see how they do. You got the
Bro,
Sixers and the Pistons. Go ahead.
no, I was just about to say, bro, like out of all those games besides the one you just named, every game tonight is good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would like to watch all of them. Well,
Oh yeah.
two. Let me
Yeah, I
say
mean,
two.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how teams play, though. Like, honestly, they know it's the in-season tournament. It's a little bit of bread on the line. They might come out and try to ball out. If last week is any indication, I don't think there were any blowouts in the in-season tournament last week. All the games came down to the
No.
wire. They were close.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then you got the Sixers versus the Pistons. The Pistons' record is 2-7, but they're playing better than their record. We already discussed how well the Sixers are playing. They're on the road tonight. Maybe Detroit can get sneak in and win. We'll see how that goes. Now tonight, the Nets versus Celtics is going to be a good one. Cam Thomas has been balling out for the
But he
Brooklyn
out.
Nets.
He out for 2 weeks.
Oh
Twisted
no!
his ankle.
Dang, that dude was on an all-star pace, at least
Man,
for
he was
points.
killing. He was killing,
Oh
bro.
Lord! So I guess we can expect the Celtics to go out there and take care of business tonight. But hey, this young Nets team is very scrappy, bro. They're
Yeah, they're
scrappy,
very scrappy.
and they're not scared of nobody. That's gonna be on ESPN. You got the Timberwolves and the Spurs. That's gonna be the
That's
game to
gonna
watch.
bust.
Carl Anthony Towns is like, look, Victor, hey fam, you're gonna have to earn this. You got to earn it, my guy. It's one of the top big men in this league. Anthony Edwards has been playing lights out, averaging 28.6 rebounds and about 5.5 assists. It's just gonna be a good game.
Bro, he going up against his protege too, alongside Rudy Gobert. Hey, it should be busting. Like Jay McDaniels. It's a lot of teams on this. It's a lot of sneaky teams like that might a lot of people be paying attention to that they need to. This is a game that looking back on it, you be like, damn, I should have watched that.
And
You
look,
need to watch them.
and the Spurs are a little bit ahead of schedule, 3-5 to start the season. If they get this win today, it'll be big. And of course, the NBA would love nothing more than to see the Spurs, in some type of implications as far as the in-season
Hmm.
tournament is concerned. Like, oh, Victor Wembanyama, can he be on the first in-season tournament win team? You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be interesting to see how that game is played tonight. Then you got the Utah Jazz at 2-7, the Grizzlies at 1-7. Somebody got to win that game. Desmond Bain has been trying to do what he can from a scoring perspective, but they're just not doing enough. Marcus Smart isn't doing enough. You got Jaren Jackson Jr., who hasn't really showed up the way that you expect him to. These guys usually step up when John Moran is out, and they just haven't.
Yeah, they missed Tyrus Jones. That's what their
Yeah,
main thing is. Like they was when he was on the floor, their plus minus was always skyrocketing.
yeah. Tyus Jones is dangerously underrated in this league, and they do miss him. And D Rose went down already too, so I think it might be a lack of leadership, lack of identity. Of course, getting rid of Dylan Brooks, who was a leader and did have some of their identity, it hurts the
Yeah,
squad, man. It is what it is.
I
They lost
definitely
too
still
much.
feel like they did Dylan Brooks a little wrong, in my opinion.
Now, another one of the good games from West Group B is the Pelicans versus the Rockets. The
That's
Rockets are
the
on a
game.
4-game winning streak. Zion is
That's the
still
game.
healthy. Sengun is killing right now, averaging
Hey,
18 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. He's like, look, man, Joker ain't the
that's
only one.
bro. That man look like Vooch with more athleticism.
Yeah, man. He's out
Right,
there
for real.
balling, bro.
Like
Balling.
he got anybody that like looking at footwork, look at him. He got it,
Mm-hmm. Yep. And
especially in the post.
another good game tonight. Clippers versus Mavericks. The Clippers are they starting off slow, 3-4. The Mavericks are 6-2. Luka's doing his thing, averaging damn near 32-point triple double with 31.5, 9.3, 8.8. Paul George is the de facto leader of this squad. I believe Kawhi Leonard is kind of taking a back seat in that regard. It's gonna be a good game, man. That's gonna be something to look out for. And then the
Two
Thunder.
two L's with James Harden already. I
Mm-hmm.
wonder why.
The Thunder and the Kings as well. Two good young teams. SGA is putting up a case together again for an all-star
Dang,
situation.
I might have to
Sabonis.
stay up tonight, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good Friday night.
For
Sabonis
real.
doing his
Hey,
thing
cause
as well.
he just gave up 43 points the other night. You got
Mm-hmm.
I suppose everybody on the sack is still healthy. Um, Sabonis doing Sabonis things. Heard like I ain't gonna lie with Sacramento. Of course, you look at De'Aaron Fox, you look at all Sabonis, but it's a lot of dudes on this team that makes this team, like the herders of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a lot of
Keegan Murray.
Keegan bro. Hey, it was. Did you see that? His brother blocked him. I think it was yesterday. That was weird. That was so weird. But hey, it was cool too at the same time. But like they got a lot of key pieces on this team. But I do just get news that De'Aaron Fox will not play Friday.
Man, it sucks to see these players going down, but you got to take care of your health. And then we got the last game of the night, the Lakers versus the Suns. I'm not sure if Anthony Davis playing tonight. The Lakers are coming off what I would say is one of the worst losses I've ever seen a LeBron James team have, getting blown out by a young Houston Rockets team that isn't expected to do much this year. Although I think we did mention in our preseason predictions that they would be sneaky, you know what I'm saying? They definitely could get
Yeah.
some wins with Ime Udoka out there as their coach. And then they did pick up some players in the offseason who know how to win. So like right, Fred VanVleet went there, didn't he?
What the Houston?
Or he went to Portland.
Fred VanVleet went to Houston.
Right, so they got Fred VanVleet, they got Dylan Brooks. Those guys know how to play. Fred VanVleet is a champion. That type of locker room presence can have a young team playing above their station, and it's been
Yeah.
proven right now.
Because they're
But
instantly like we predicted, they instantly became the defensive team we all knew that we thought they was gonna be. And even what's shocking is even he had a rookie. What's the dude, the tall one? Smith is the last name?
yeah, Smith
Smith.
Jr. Yeah,
Even he is starting to pick it up on the defensive end. And if you got his big 6'10" ass out there locking shit up and just being active, oh, this team gonna be an issue for anybody.
and the Suns have been struggling because they haven't been at full strength. Booker's been in and out of the lineup. Bradley Beal is just now getting to it. Kevin Durant has been the only one that's been healthy. The Lakers have been struggling a little bit as well at 3-5. They, as much as LeBron is playing really, really well at his age, you just can't expect him to carry a team. And when they traded for Anthony Davis, I believe that LeBron felt like at this point that Anthony Davis would be the true leader of this squad. But his
Mhm.
health is just not that. When he's on the court, he's golden. He's great. He's averaging 24 points, 12 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He gets his blocks. But at the end of the day, if you can't stay healthy, the Lakers are in for a long season yet again, where they're going to have to fight
Yeah.
their way into the playoffs or into the play-in tournament in order to be viable this year. But it's going to be a good game. That's the nightcap on ESPN on the second night of the in-season tournament, which has been surprisingly good. I ain't going to front.
Yeah, Booker is out, and Bradley Beal is also a game time decision.
So there you have it. So you got the relics, LeBron James and Kevin Durant trying to hold on, trying to do what they can do. You dig? So
Oh, bro.
we appreciate y'all for rocking with us over here on NBA Central. Of course, follow the rest of the Chi-Town sports family. Chicago Bulls Central, Bears Central, White Sox and Cubs Central, Sky Central, Blackhawks Central, and of course the Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys, Stev0 and Bobby. Not Stev0 and Bobby, C-Dub and Bobby.
C-Dub.
C-Dub and Bobby. And y'all already know Hayes running the Chicago Bulls Central, and then all the other channels as well. We all intermingle with one another. We're going to holler at y'all next time. For Stev0 Speaks, I'm your boy, Big Bro. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.